Hey, here we go. 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 It's
Hey,
episode number 10. We in this thing to win. Hey, let me cut this off. Let me stop.
hey,
Y'all not here to hear me rap. Y'all don't want to hear me rap.
that's
I'm not
right.
ready for that. But man, I'm so excited to be here. I'm excited to be here with our special guest, D. And I'm going to give our show intro. I'm still getting used to this whole podcast hosting deal. So I'm going to give the show intro and then I'll introduce our special guest. But welcome back to the Gamma Wave. You know, this is the show where gaming, anime, movies, music, and art become the lens through which we talk about faith, health, purpose, and personal growth. Today's guest is someone whose content first caught my attention because it made me laugh. But the more I watched, the more I realized there is substance behind the humor. We connected over gaming, faith, and content creating with purpose. So today, we're just going to kick back and have the kind of conversation we'd probably be having even if the cameras weren't recording. To all my good people, welcome to the wave. Let's go.
I
So,
like that.
first of all, I appreciate you, D, for gracing the Gamma Wave podcast. And
Hey,
yeah, man, I super appreciate it.
yeah. I'm glad to be here, bro. I appreciate you, Caleb. Hey, this is an honor. You feel me? So hopefully one of many. You know.
Oh, yeah, I could already see it in the stars for you. Much success on the way, even more success than what you have now. I already see that in your future. Very intentional person. And yeah, we're going to get right to it because when I see your content, I see, of course, the gaming. I see the entertainment value there. But again, I also see like, okay, there's substance, there's the personal growth and everything. But before we get into
Mhm.
that, I want to give an overview of the show. So let me remember my hosting manners. So our menu for today, gaming inspired. So first we're gonna hit off with some quick time event questions. So we know when we get in those certain games, you only have a split second to react. It's like press X, press R2, press left
Uh-huh.
button. You got to
Yeah,
react quick. That's the theme there. And then
for
we're going to
sure.
get over to, more of like our origin story. I know you see the Master Chief behind me. That's one of my go tos there. I love Halo.
Hey,
And, we all are the Master Chief in our story. As we get to understand the story, we also have to understand the character that's playing the game as well. And so you are that character for today. We selected you. I selected you
praise
to
God.
grace our podcast.
Praise
And
God.
as we unravel this conversation, Gamma Vision. This is something that is definitely inspired by The Matrix. Again, one of my favorite movies here. You may see it behind me, where it's like you have like
Oh,
that.
that's what that was. I see
Yeah,
it.
let me see. Let me get out the way.
Ah, okay. That's hard.
I'm gonna
That's
tilt the
hard.
camera a little bit too because it just got my big old dome in the way. But this is
Yeah.
what we're working with over there.
Oh, I
As
like
I
that's nice.
as I mess up the camera view, but yeah, Matrix, one of my favorite series
Yeah.
there.
Nice.
Seeing everything
Nice.
in code, and we usually have a wellness or nutrition topic, which
Hmm.
includes either our daily sensu bean, but today we're going to respawn like a pro with D. He's got
Yes,
us
sir.
covered for the games. Like, I don't know if you guys know, check out the YouTube, check out the Twitch, Dziller.
Please do.
Yeah, he knows the stuff on the gaming. I'm not even going to front like I know it, but he knows the stuff. So, and then lastly, since our topic and title for today is one buff you're overlooking in life, I know that there's a powerful message just waiting to be unlocked. And we're going to reach that level in this conversation. So, you ready, D?
Yeah, let's do it.
Jumping into that quick time event. First off, what's a game you'll defend forever?
Watch Dogs Legions
Okay, moving quick. All right, I like it. What's a soundtrack that never gets skipped?
in the game.
It can be in the game or just music.
Oh, music in general. What?
Yeah,
Good Kid, Mad City. What?
I
What?
know
No
you've seen.
skips.
I know you've seen the Kendrick.
Yeah, I seen it. I
posted.
seen it. I seen it.
Yeah. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep rolling.
Yes, sir.
One word describing this season in your life.
Mm. Ooh, it's new. It's fresh. Fresh. I say fresh.
All right. All right. Fresh.
Yeah.
One game to prove to a non-gamer that video games are art.
Let's go on. Uncharted 2.
Hmm. Uncharted 2.
Uncharted 2.
I want to get back into that one definitely.
We
Uh
do. We got to.
the
I know we
most
just running and gunning, but I would love to talk about all these, but I'm just trying to stay on point.
Me too, me too. Okay, second to last one. The
Mhm.
most underrated daily habit to level up your faith.
Underrated daily habit. Reading a chapter in the Bible a day. One
All right.
chapter. Specifically Proverbs, if you can.
See, I already knew. The worst advice given to you, or the worst advice given to young creators online today.
uh Post daily.
Ooh. All right. So for everyone watching, I think D Ziller did great. I don't think any question took more than like 5 or 10 seconds. So
Hey,
I
you
know
said QTE. I had to stay within that.
the reaction time is S class. It's a S class reaction time.
Like, love.
So yeah. So I mean, so Good Kid, Mad City. I was just like rewriting some of these things. I love Kendrick. He's one of my favorite artists, and I say
Yeah, yeah.
artist instead of rapper. He can definitely rap, but
Mm-hmm.
I see him as a really well rounded artist, a storyteller,
Yes.
and that's a theme that is going to come back into this conversation a lot. Is the theme of storytelling. So
That album,
album, yeah,
honestly, bro, I think it's like the perfect hip hop album, front to back. And it's not even just the perfect hip hop album. I feel like it's the perfect story. Like, if you just want something that puts you in the action and you have a beginning, middle, end, and you can clearly see where they're trying to go and you can clearly see the message, like how he wraps it up, all the highs and lows of it, the relatability, it's just all the pieces are there. Every single piece that you need. You feel me?
yeah.
Um, so yeah, Good Kid, Mad City, I think is the best hip hop album of all time. Like, if we talk about just straight up rapping, like, for sure, for sure. What's your favorite? Which one do you think the best one?
Sheesh, man. So this is a really great question because I go between uh, Kendrick's Damn album. To me,
Hmm. I
that
agree.
album
I agree.
it has no skips for me. It's like the story that can go from front to end and end to beginning, back and forth. Like
You
one of my uh,
you
oh
see, I
yeah,
got it's in the cut.
yeah, yeah.
It's
So
in the cut.
you already know, and you got the record, you got the vinyl too.
Yeah, the official. Oh crap! I tried to zoom in. I'm sorry.
Are you good? You
I
good?
tried to
Hey,
zoom- but you get the point. You get the point. It's over there, bro.
oh yeah.
It's literally always on the record player, just chilling, ready.
That's why
Phenomenal album.
that's his numbers speak for themselves.
Yeah.
And if I'm and I was gonna say that story theme going back to front to back, just like one of my favorite anime, Attack on Titan, because it's like a loop. I love those stories that have a connecting full circle, and I feel like the Damn
Mm,
album has that kind of front to back to front. Everything's
yeah.
covered. But to not to
I
go
gotta watch
on.
Attack on Titan. I never even watched a full episode of that.
Okay, brace yourself. It's not for the faint of heart.
That's what I hear. That's what I hear.
To me, it's pretty peak, and that's coming from like a Dragon Ball Z kid.
Yeah.
Um, I'm used to shonen, but that's not shonen. Okay, so you
Mm.
also mentioned posting daily. I'm gonna just skip to this last one so we can get to the Gamma Vision stuff. But
Let's
yeah,
do it.
posting daily. Talk about that. When for me, I hear that
Mhm.
and I have this mentality of like, hey, shooter's gonna shoot. If I shoot as
Yeah.
many shots, eventually something's gonna go in.
Yeah.
But talk about how posting every day, maybe that's not really getting you the results you're looking for.
Yeah. So, from personal experience, last year I was posting multiple times daily. You know what I'm saying? And I never not once went viral. Don't get me wrong. I had like moments where like things did like irregular numbers, like, oh, that's I didn't think that would do 40,000 or something like that. But I think posting daily isn't what's gonna like just get you to that point of like, oh yeah, like people gonna see me, I'm gonna gain an audience. I think posting as intentionally as possible and consistently is better than trying to force something to come out on a day-to-day basis. Because I haven't posted that video that you seen, the one
Hmm.
that blew up.
Yeah.
I haven't posted a skit since last fall. I haven't posted really any type of vertical video like since last fall. That was the first time I posted a video since last year in 2025. So for that to instantly get, million views on TikTok, million views on Instagram, multiple million views on Reddit, that was intentionality. You feel me? That was just being intentional and just connecting. And then after that, I was like, okay, let me try to be consistent. But I wasn't posting every day. Heck, no,
Yeah. So
no.
for all the content creators, you just dropped a bar. It's about the
Yeah.
intentionality. It's about setting an outcome that you see from the very beginning and
Mhm.
having the right vision to execute it. Because when I seen that
Yes.
video, it's hilarious. I'm definitely gonna add it to this podcast episode so
Hey,
people can
appreciate
see it. Because man, I know I've watched that video at least a couple dozen times because I'm just like the
it.
song's fire. You're
Yeah.
definitely in your mode, and yeah, it's
Hey,
funny, and then also relevant and timely. So you have the
yeah,
perfect storm of everything to just it hit, and it speaks for
yeah.
itself.
Thank you, bro.
So yeah, so what goes through your mind when you decide to make a video like that?
It's funny because it was right after PlayStation did the whole big announcement. Everybody know, the PlayStation Doomsday. When that happened, I was like, "Ooh, you know what? I feel like we've been getting a lot of bad news. Like just a week ago, Rockstar did the whole no diss thing. Literally a few days before that, I think no, it was a few days like after that, Xbox did what they did, but literally it's been rumors that they was gonna lay off a bunch of people for months. Like this has been rumors. You feel me? And then I'm just thinking, I'm like, man. And then Steam 2 weeks ago just said they console was $1,000. You feel me? And they don't even give us a controller unless we pay an extra 100. So I'm over here like, bro, everybody tweaking right now. So I think the thought that came into my mind was like, I think to them, the companies, like I'm just exaggerating, but I feel like to them, it's like they don't care that much. You know what I'm saying? Because they still doing it at the end of the day. Because if they really cared, they would be like, "Oh, we hear you. We hear your problems. We're gonna reverse this. We're gonna try to do something different." But it's like, no, it's like I heard you, but I'm still gonna do it. You feel me? So I just, you feel me? So I wanted that video to kind of just be like an exaggeration of like, yeah, they kind of they stomping on us. You feel me? Wow, they giving us the bad news and they stomping on us at the same time. So that's when the idea came. The Apache, the song, it's legendary.
Hmm.
It's something that was already trending at some point, either last year or this year or whatever. So I was like, you know what? People already was doing this. I feel like I could just kind of like put a gaming twist on it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That perfectly like summarizes that because yeah, it was quite a week, weeks back to back of news, shocked the gaming
Mm,
community, and the community was upset.
yeah.
Yeah, it's evident that it relates to a lot of people. The frustration of man, it's like the companies, the big corporations, they don't really care about their community that they're serving. Like you're making
No.
these products, you're making these consoles for the customer, but it's like we just want your dollars at the end of the day. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like we'll spit on you and call it rain. That kind of energy.
Exactly. You hit it right on the head. You hit it right on the head. You feel me?
Yeah.
So it was just it was I guess I don't hate the gaming companies, but I just feel like I just want to make it obvious that yeah, they don't what Michael Jackson say? They don't really care about us. You feel me? Exactly.
Yeah, I can hear it
Exactly.
in the background. Yeah, they don't really care about
Exactly.
us, man. It's like, hey, from
Oh,
no
no.
controllers to you don't own your games that you paid for with your hard-earned money, and they can
No,
just wipe it off the console at any time. Yeah, they don't care. They
they don't
basically they're making their moves very transparent, and they don't really care.
care.
Yep,
Exactly.
perfectly. That could be another video idea right there. The Michael Jackson. You could
They
start
don't
another
really care
trend.
about us. That's funny.
Yeah. So, for the people that just discovered you from the viral video. A million plus views across multiple platforms is amazing. And for
Yeah.
those who you know may not know who you are, like who is D Ziller? Who's D outside of the algorithm?
Outside the algorithm. I feel like I'm a simple person, I guess. I don't know. I feel like okay, hey, I go to church every week. You feel me? I got a wife. I got a daughter. You know what I'm saying? I've been gaming since I feel like I had a bottle in my hand. You know what I mean? So it's like I've been doing this for a very long time. I'm actually a musician. Uh, I make music. You can look me up. This is not. I'm not just saying this. You can actually look me up. My name is Riggio, Ridgio. So I've been doing music for like 13 years. I done toured. I didn't freaking what I'm saying? Got on the radio, all types of stuff. Like I feel like I just never lost that love for gaming. But other than that, I feel like I'm just a simple, I'm a dude. You know what I'm saying? In layman's terms, I'm a regular nigga, bro. I ain't really nothing crazy. I just, I love the entertaining side of life, you feel me? And I just embrace it, you feel me? And then also while with that, I gotta put some word of God up in there. So that's just how I live my life, you feel me? I like having a good time. I'm a regular old dude, really.
Yeah, man. So music, family, faith,
Hmm.
and gaming, entertainment culture. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that's part of the reason why I wanted you on this podcast. I was like, oh man, like this is a perfect matchmate here, and
Yeah. I agree.
the music thing. So this is a selfish part of the conversation for me because you'll watch people's videos, and I'll look at the background, and I'll be like, oh, I saw a keyboard,
Yeah.
and this is before I even knew that you're a musician, but I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
not everybody just has a keyboard in there unless you have like a family member that plays, it's something for practice. But I was like, I had a suspicion he's a musician, and I'm a drummer, so
Yeah.
because I knew that you're a musician, I put my little symbol here in
I
the
see. I
back.
see the symbol. That's hard. I didn't know you did that on purpose.
I did that on
That's a good
purpose today.
decoration. That's a
You
real
think
cool
so?
decoration. Yes,
Oh
that's a cool
man.
decoration.
So a little bit of my own personal. I'm gonna try to be a little bit personable in this show too. I
Yeah.
took a long break from playing music, and then that's something where it was foreign to me because I had grew up in the church. I played the drums in the church, played with
Yeah.
my father, who's an organ player, my sister, who sung in the choir and led praise team, and my brother as well in the praise team and choir, and did this for a long time. From the time, like you said, like you was gaming from diapers to now. That's the way
Yeah.
it was for me in music. Like there's pictures of me playing pots and pans and diapers,
Uh,
and I played
I know you
until
cold with it. I know you with the drunk. What
I mean
for those
I'm
many years?
I'm all right. I can keep a beat. I'm gonna do a little bit better than a metronome because I can give you a little splack,
A little, okay, okay,
a
for
little
sure,
something
for
something.
sure.
I'm yeah. I don't like. I'm there. I know way colder drummers, so that's why I'm like, yeah. I'm not gonna go up here and say yeah I'm the coldest. I know some cold drummers,
I
but
feel
I
it.
won't
I
make
feel
your
it.
choir or praise team sound bad. I'll say that. And yeah, it's
Sometimes
just
that's all
like
you
music
need.
is a huge part of my life, and I can tell like there's like a musicality, like a creativity part there. So yeah,
Yeah,
talk about the influence of music like in your life from like a musician standpoint because I feel like
yeah.
there's people who enjoy music, but then I feel like if you play an instrument, that's like another level.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree, bro. I agree. So I don't. I play a little bit of piano, but actually, my wife is the one who. That's her piano, really. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying? I produce. Don't get me wrong. I produce and all that, but she the big music player. But I feel like music changed my life, bro. Because I think when I was a teenager, I want to say 16, 17, it was just like a growing love over time. Like I feel like I always had like a natural talent for it, but that was the point in time in my life when I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna make this like my life." You know what I'm saying? Like this is gonna be me.
Mm.
And by the time I turned 18 years old, that's when I really like dedicated myself to music. Like this game and stuff I was doing when I was 14. You can still look at pictures videos on my YouTube of when I was young. I was a baby, you know what I'm saying? But the music thing was like, no, this is gonna be my career, you know? So yeah, it changed everything. And it's such a beautiful thing because with music, it's like you don't realize how much you discover so many parts of yourself along that journey. You would think that it's just like, oh, I can make a good song one day, and then a lot of people gonna like it, and then boom, you know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna be crazy successful or something like that. And it's like it's way deeper than that. Way, yeah, you can make some money. You feel me? You can have some fans. You can, get all the cheers and all the accolades, whatever the case may be. But it's an introspective journey, and it let me know that a lot of people who are choosing to live their music, I mean, to express their music in a way where, how nowadays we be like, man, music ain't the same no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, the message is this, or the message is so crazy, it's so dark, yada yada. It's like, if you really do music, you realize that like that's intentional. That you don't do that by mistake. You know what I'm saying? You might start off by mistake doing whatever, trying to get your feet wet, but after some time, it's an intentional decision. So it's like a self-discovery journey. The deeper and deeper you get into music. And yeah, it's a beautiful thing, man. I actually just reached because like I said, I've been doing music for 13 years. So I just recently, within the past year, got back into my gaming content because I just been neglecting it. You feel me? I just haven't done it. You feel me? So yeah, that's the music side of me.
Yeah, and I can tell that everything that you have a passion for in life, it's integrated into your being, and I can relate to that,
Yeah,
and I know our audience can relate to that too, because you may have multiple interests that you're juggling in life,
yeah,
and
yeah,
you may feel that, and I use this analogy of a garden. You'll have a section of your garden that's gaming, you'll have a section of your garden that's content creation, you have a section
yeah.
of the garden that's music. And it's like you want to give each part of that garden love, attention, the
Hmm.
nourishment, so that it can all produce fruit. So
Yeah.
that can be something like, again, like you have the self discovery aspect, and like what, like if to use a gaming analogy, what's in your inventory of that self discovery journey that reflects your self discovery journey within music? Like, what's something in your inventory bag?
In the inventory, can you ask that question in a different way?
Yeah, so you know how sometimes we play these games and you have like cool items. Like I love Pokemon,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you'll get like these cool items. Like, oh, like here's the experience share, or like the lucky egg. And it's like I'm gonna keep that because
Uh-huh.
that's cool. Like
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
something in that you have found about yourself, but it was from being involved in music or putting your time into music, that it's like, oh, I'm gonna keep this. I'm not gonna just release
Mm.
it or throw it away. I'm gonna keep this. Like this is an inventory favorite.
Yeah. Okay. Dang, that's a great question. I guess. I guess the thing that I found that I don't want to let go that I know that I have. Mm, it's so many things. I'm not gonna lie. It's so many things that I don't want to let go. Oh,
Just you can just
dang.
name just one of them. Yeah, I know
Okay.
so many. I know there's so many.
Okay. One thing that I feel like I found as time went on that's very unique to me is I think I have the ability to always, I feel like I've always had the ability to believe in something without like wavering. You know what I'm saying? Like no matter what I'm doing, like I could be doing music, I could be doing this game and stuff, I could do it whatever the case may be. I feel like I can whip that out in everything I do. And I think that's why my friends are like the reason why we so close. And I feel like the reason why we are so, they put so much trust in me, and I feel like I got so much love for them too, is because if we got a plan for something, it's like I'll be the person that's just like, oh no, we finna do it. Like it ain't even no question. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's just something you want that in all aspects of life. You feel me? You never want to waver. You feel me?
Mm.
That's just something I know for a fact I can always use. Always.
So to me, that sounds like faith. It sounds like unshakable,
Yeah.
unbreakable faith.
Yeah.
And you saw me reacting, and I know people watching this. You saw me reacting because one of the things as I prepare for these podcast episodes, I try to dial in my frequency so I can come on
Yeah.
this show and give what I believe the audience is needing from these
Yeah.
different shows. And so as I'm listening to my own intro music, I'm saying, see it, believe it, achieve it, see it, believe
Yeah.
it, achieve it, I'm just singing that to the
Yeah.
intro music, and that's why I'm like, well, as you said that, I'm like, oh man, like that's those are two in the same answers right there.
Yeah.
because the material or the substance of it, that is the part where it's like, yeah, it takes time, effort, resources, but in our minds, we can see a fully developed product or a fully finished outcome. And it's like, oh, yeah, we're going to get there. And as long as you have that belief, you can get there. And so fear
Hmm.
and doubt, those are things that can be the hurdles, but you just got to believe and have faith. That's
Yep.
the thing that gets you over the hump.
Facts. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. You most
So,
definitely got to work. Don't forget that. Always got to work. But some people there be doing so much work and they never really believe in what they doing. And you can kind of tell, like you can kind of tell it's like, man, I can tell you kind of holding back. You feel me? It's like you're doing it, but you ain't really doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because
mm-hmm,
it's a part of you that don't really, when you say this stuff, you don't really believe what you're saying. You just saying it because maybe you want to say something or you feel like you in a rotation. You just like, okay, this is what I gotta do. But like, no, you gotta have faith. You gotta have that belief. That's what's gonna take you over the edge for sure. Cause you're gonna get it's so many things that's gonna wanna it's gonna knock you down. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how many hundreds and hundreds of videos I done made in the past before, I got to one point where I'm like, oh my goodness, I can see the light. You know what I'm saying?
yep,
Imagine the first 100 videos, I just let those joints beat me down. You feel me? We
mm-hmm,
wouldn't even be to be
right.
honest. So yeah, you gotta keep going.
Amen to that. Amen to that. And so
Yeah.
I want to be able to weave some different parts of this conversation together. And,
Mhm.
along with your love for gaming, your faith is prominent. We're talking about your faith and content creation. And I just want to hear from you, like, how do you balance, making things entertaining, like you mentioned, like you're very in that entertainment lifestyle, that like
Yeah.
that's a big part of life, making engaging content without compromising or watering down your faith? Like, how do you balance all three of those together?
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes, and this is me just speaking off the cuff, I feel like sometimes you really have to compartmentalize a lot of stuff and be intentional within that. Because if you gonna make something that's faith oriented to some degree and you're gonna put it in something, you don't wanna like just throw it at somebody. You know what I'm saying? You wanna make everything cohesive. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if I make a long form video essay and I'm putting a Bible verse in there, or if I'm doing like a little segment for a stream and I'm trying to say a Bible verse or something like that, it's like I'm finna make sure that this all kind of like goes together, or it just kind of it doesn't feel like I'm like just throwing it at you. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, this feels right. So when it comes down to the entertainment aspect and engaging, I'm not finna just throw a Bible verse at you unless it's relevant. You know what I'm saying? If it's relevant to what I'm saying, then for sure. But if it ain't relevant, then it's like, no, I'm gonna compartmentalize that and put that where it's supposed to go because you don't want to just be force feeding people at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So, and then as far as compromising, like I feel like the moment I felt like I was like, dang, I might be compromising was when I made this Rockstar video about like, oh, okay, this is how Rockstar been moving, and Rockstar, they sold you the game without the disc in it. You feel me? And he slapped dude, and at the end he gave him the two middle fingers and all that. And I'm just like, only thing that make me comfortable with putting out a piece of content I felt like that is like remembering that I'm I'm mirroring the world and I'm mirroring how we feel, and it's not necessarily me doing it to you or me
Mm-hmm.
doing it to somebody. It's more just thinking about like, okay, this is just a reflection of life. And I feel like the word of God does not cut any corners with anything dark. You feel me? For lack of better words, it talk about murder. You feel me? They talk about some crazy stuff. They talk about, even incest. Like it's some stuff that it gets crazy, when you read that book. And it don't like he cut it out like, oh, this is too crazy. Let me not say it. You feel me? You must just say it. So it's just one of the things where it's like, I feel like I'm trying to be more comfortable with the idea that like, nah, this is just real life. And I gotta reflect life as much as I can, but also be intentional. Like don't try to give people too much at once because you might lose somebody. You feel me? If I'm saying this, I'm just gonna say that, keep it within its zone, make sure it's cohesive, and then boom, move on to the next thing. I ain't finna try to do everything all at once because you know what I'm saying. Someone's gonna be like, "Oh, you forcing it at that point," you know? So that's how I think about it.
Wow.
That's how I think about
Yeah, like when I hear you talk about that, I hear artistry because I think what makes art great and the things that we create great is the thoughtfulness behind it,
it.
and
Yeah,
we're keeping our audience in mind. To use a music analogy to describe our art analogy here, when I was
yeah.
on the drums, I'd had different mentors that would tell me, during certain segments of the song, we want to play pocket because that's going to be easier for the crowd to like understand like the feel of the song and just really get into the song and engage. But if you're up there and you throwing in every lick and every chop and it's not your time yet, you're taking
Yeah,
away from the message. And I
fact.
feel like that's what I'm hearing. What you're saying is like there's a message, and you want to be able to like color in the lines, because if you're
Mhm.
kind of like taking way too much, it's like, well, the people get lost in what you're trying to convey and the
Yes,
message with that.
yes, yes. That's 100%. You explained that better than I did. That was perfect. That was
I'm
very
just
concise.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. I'm just picking up what you're putting down. So
Thank God.
yeah, man, like I'm also taking like personal notes for myself because I consider myself a newbie, and I'm not too prideful or ego driven to like not recognize when something is helpful. Like everything you just shared, if you're like me, you're trying to get your content creation going, you're trying to stick to your personal ethics, your personal values. That
Mhm.
was that was a that was so much wisdom. I'll just That's what I'll call it. Like that was a lot of wisdom right there.
Hey, I'm glad. Praise God. Proverbs.
Proverbs. And
Proverbs.
how does your relationship, speaking of like proverbs, like how does your relationship with God change the way you handle like the the toxic or those negative sides of even the internet culture? We know in real life there's
Yeah.
some dark things, but even in internet culture, it's like, man, you'll see everything. how do you how do
Yeah, you
you
do.
how do you handle that?
You know what? I feel like what I try to do, I try to think about like if I won't do it or if I won't say it in real life, like don't say it on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm still working on it. Like I don't feel like I'm perfect at it. I get in my little internet arguments. You feel me? You'll see me under somebody comments for sure. You feel me? But like I genuinely feel like if I won't say this to you, like if I won't disrespect you in this way, face to face, like I'm not finna just haul off and just say something crazy to somebody, like, cause you know what I'm saying? Like that's just what the words say, man. You know, the Lord gonna account for all the words we say, every idle word. You feel me? So it's
Mm-hmm.
like you can be saying something, you can be thinking that, oh, this just internet, but it's like all that stuff count at the end of the day. So I'm still working on it. I'm not perfect, but I most definitely I try not to say something to somebody that I wouldn't say in real life. That's how I picture it, and I think that's as controlled as I can possibly be.
Well, I'm like they say in church, God's not done with me yet.
For
Uh,
sure, for sure.
and I have my moments too. Sometimes I have to repent because I'm like, sometimes you feel comfortable moving those thumbs a certain way behind the phone that you wouldn't necessarily move your tongue to say,
Yeah.
or maybe you would, maybe some are so inclined, but I feel like
Hmm.
for the most part, that internet is like a comfort shield.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so
Oh
yeah, we
yeah.
got to really hold ourselves accountable for every
Hmm.
action and even the thoughts too. So I love that perspective.
Facts. Facts.
So yeah, so we're gonna get into the gamma vision. So let's turn on our code vision real quick, and I want to talk about some other sides of gaming. So one thing I've noticed is that people are quick to blame gaming for isolation, for addiction, or for wasted time, but some of the strongest friendships I've ever started or seen started with a headset and a controller. Like long
Hmm.
lasting bonds, they started with just like jumping online or coming over to your friend's house, like boom, like we're playing. And I've also
Facts.
seen gaming inspire creativity. I've seen it inspire discipline and even faith conversations like today. So I'm curious,
Mhm.
do you think gaming gets misunderstood?
That's a great question. That's a great question because it's parts of it that I don't think is misunderstood at all. I think it's parts of it that people got spot on. because yes, people can take gaming too far. I've seen it. It can make people isolated. It can make people, have an addictive, unhealthy addiction. You feel me? Um, it most definitely can hurt you health wise if you do it too much. It most definitely can turn you into somebody that you're not. I remember playing Arc Raiders. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I was talking spicy on Arc Raiders. I was talking high. You feel me? So no, gaming can bring out some of the worst parts in you. I will be real about that. But I also think that the more conscious you become of your gaming habits and the more um, temperate you become with gaming, you just have some self control about it. I do think it can have more positive effects than not because gaming, because you're just trying to have fun, is cool and all that, but it's always that limit. You know what I'm saying? That we all got to be conscious of. It's like it's that little limit of like, okay, like I got a friend. I ain't gonna name him, but really good friend of mine, love him. He told me straight up. He's like, bro, it was a point in time. I was gaming, I was playing Civ, and I was playing it so much that my baby right there, and I'm just on Civ, and baby is 6 months old, and I'm just playing the game, and I ain't paying him no mind. You feel me? And it's like that's real. You feel
Mm,
me? It's
yeah.
real. It gets like that. So it's like when you become conscious of your gaming habits, you can start taking away the things you're supposed to from games. Because games got beautiful stories. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, it can teach you discipline. I think we've all tried to get a platinum trophy or tried to get all those achievements before. You feel me? It can teach you patience, a lot of patience, depending on the type of game you're playing. You feel me? It's a lot of great life lessons you got to do. But it comes with us being conscious and having that self control and understanding, like, okay, it's a time for it and it's a time not for it. You feel me? So it can be misunderstood, but I think for the most part, people got it kind of spot on. I'm gonna keep it real. People got it pretty spot on. I do think people are dramatic when they try to make it seem like gaming causes violence. I feel like
Mm,
that's crazy. That's no, I don't think that at all. I
yeah.
don't believe that.
You know, because yeah, and this is going off the script a little bit because that kind of hits a button because I would make fun of my brother, my little
Mm-hmm,
brother. He's more of a gamer than me. And one thing
mm-hmm,
I'd get on him about was like, man, you're driving crazy in all these games, like the role play, the real world map games, like the GTA's and stuff like that. And I was like,
yeah,
you can at least drive on the street, my brother. You can at least,
yeah,
and I think you know what I'm talking about.
yeah.
Um, I'm like, you can at least do things a certain way, but it's like in real life, he's a great driver.
Mm-hmm,
He can obey all those traffic signs and stuff like that. So it's like you can't
yeah.
just write a receipt and say this is where this comes from. It always comes down to personal choice, and
Facts,
people have to be
facts.
accountable for their choices. And I'm always going to be the person that stands on the side of being accountable for your choices and not giving an excuse because
That's so
like when you're standing before God or you're standing before the judge, they're going to say,
true.
why did you do this? They're not going to look for an excuse. They're looking for a reason. Why did you make that choice? And you
Mm-hmm.
saying that, oh well, I played a video game. That video game doesn't really amount to anything in real life, if we're being completely honest. And God's going to look at it the same way. So we
Hey,
all have to be
hey,
accountable.
you got to. Hey, my little brother play video games significantly more than I do. I would even say he's a professional. That's how great he is at games. I drive like a maniac. You feel me? This man drive like a saint. You feel like the
Mm.
way that he in that road, this man is obeying every law. I'm like, dang, bro, can you at least speed it up? But like he
Mm-hmm.
practically drive like a grandma. You feel me? And he played way more games than me. You feel me? So it's most definitely personal choice. We got to take accountability. You 1,000% correct.
Yeah, you're correct too, because like especially with the violence thing, I know it's easy to say that these games give the ideation of it. Guess what? Our real world is also violent too. I mean, you can
Facts.
just turn on the news, you can swipe on any feed on social media, and you can find something that is disturbing, is disheartening, and you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to go to a video game to see that. So I don't just put it all on that
Yeah.
video game.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I agree.
So yeah, looking deeper getting into this conversation, today's conversation and title is the ultimate buff in life that you're overlooking. And in a lot of the RPGs, they have a buff, and this can make you stronger, it can make you faster, it can make you even immune to damage. But in the
Right.
real world, we constantly ignore our own stat boost. And, if you had a map of your content creation journey and it was like a
Hmm.
skill tree, what would
Yeah.
be the most expensive or painful skill that you had to unlock to date?
Oh my goodness. Okay, I think everybody who did content and that might have got like a little taste of like, okay, this is kind of working out, realize that that patience of like, oh, I have the drive to do this because it's fun, and then that long time in between until you get to that point of like, oh, this kind of works. That sucks. That time period sucks. You feel me? So it's like I think that's the most expensive one out of all of them. Just having that little patience
Mm,
for that time when it's just sucking. Cause it's like, bro, you just feel like, dang, is this ever gonna work? Like, come on, man, So yeah, that's the
facts.
most expensive one. Cause you would think that it's editing videos or whatever, creating the idea, whatever case may be. Like those things, honestly, that stuff be fun. It be
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
But that little point when stuff just not going crazy, when it's not, oh my goodness, it's disheartening. So yeah.
Preaching to the choir, preaching to the choir. And this relates all too much for me. And again, I talk in analogies, so probably too much for my own good. But do you ever
Mhm.
go fishing, D? Have you ever been
Never.
fishing?
I think I did when I was a kid once, but no, I don't right now.
Okay, so I love to fish. I don't fish as much as I used to growing up, but my grandmothers would take me fishing. I used to love to go fishing in Texas with my grandma that lived in Texas. But
Nice.
when you talked about the patience, the fishing memories came back because when you get your content creation, guess what? When you make content, you got to make a hook. And guess what's on the fishing pole? A hook. You got to put your hook on
Uh-huh.
the line. And then on that hook, you got to put some bait. You got to make it interesting,
Hmm.
alluring. And you got to throw it out in the right area. You got to put it in the right spot, try to get the right area, whatever. But the hardest part is waiting for the fish to bite it. And sometimes the fish you can see them kind of going in water, and your cork will go down, but it doesn't go all the way down, setting the hook. And that would
Yeah.
be the longest part because I'm like, I did everything I was supposed to do. I did the hook, I put the bait on, I threw the thing out there in the water. Why is it taking so long to get me my biggest, my big catch? I'm still in that
Yeah.
part of my content creator journey, and I'm faithful.
Yeah.
I have faith that it will come. Just like
Yeah.
before the camera started rolling, we mentioned that you just got to put the work in and let like God give the increase and let Him be the person that or the one that like gives you that shine. But you just got to put the work in and be patient at the end of the
Yeah.
day.
Yes, bro. Yes. And I think we all can attest that that's probably the most gruesome part of it because you might have those content creators there so often that kind of just pop off randomly where it's like, oh, it was quick. It was my fourth video. But that's not a common story. The majority of us is years.
Oh yeah, and yeah, it takes some years. I'm still in that years part. I started this back in
Yes.
2021, 2022 maybe. So
Yeah.
my change is
It
gonna
takes
come
time.
like Sam Cooke, but I'm still waiting.
Bro, I started my channel back in 2009, bro. 2009. I just had a moment 4 weeks ago, bro. It's 2026. So it's crazy.
It's crazy how it works. It's crazy, but we know we stay the course. We have our conviction. We have our faith. So,
Yep,
so
thanks.
patience is the most expensive and painful skill to unlock, and we
Thanks.
know that growth is not linear. And as a dietitian, now work with people to lose weight, to lower their A1C, get their blood pressure down, get their labs in the right spot. And I often tell them like your uh, growth or your weight loss isn't going to just be like you start here and then you lose all this weight. It's not going to happen like that. You're going to have these moments and weeks where you're going to lose weight, and then there's going to be weeks where you plateau and you're not going to really budge that scale. And sometimes, when we look at our games as well, you just defeat enemies and you watch the bar go up. Like we watch the little stats go up after each enemy. But in real
Mm-hmm.
life, leveling up usually involves like failing a lot. It usually involves
Facts.
feeling stuck. It usually
Facts.
involves like recreating your whole strategy. And to make
Facts.
another gamer interjection here, I don't know if you've ever gotten into the Pokemon hacks, the hack games, or have
The
heard of
hat.
them. Oh, the hack, like the Radical Red or any
Oh
of those.
no.
Okay, so there's a community out there of, I guess, modified Pokemon games, and one of the hardest ones I played ever is Pokemon Radical Red. If you hate yourself, play this game because it's hard. It's and that's an understatement. I spent so much time. Probably took me more time than I like to admit on a
Yeah.
Pokemon game, but I beat it after some time. But boy, like even the mini bosses felt like the Elite Four level. But anyways, I
Mm.
digress. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes that's growth isn't linear. But when you look back at your earliest videos, like you said, you've been in the game since what you said 2016.
No, 2009.
2009. Okay, so you've been in the game
Yeah.
since 2009. So that's over, 16 years of,
Mm-hmm.
being in this journey. What's been the biggest difference between this version of you and the version back then?
Mm, I feel like back then I I just wasn't comfortable being in front of a camera at all. So it was like I didn't even know what to do in front of a camera. You feel me? And I was like, I'm talking about sweating. You feel me? Stumbling over my words. Like you could check out my first YouTube video right now. But I'm over there playing with my hands, Birdman hand rub. I'm all types of uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh
I feel
man.
like coming from that to now is like I maybe because I performed so many times, I performed hundreds of times. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? Then talked in front of people, spoke at schools, all type of stuff. So it's like, I think now I'm like, oh, a camera is like, it's really just like looking at somebody else, but like they just not talking back. You feel me? So it's like you just gotta take over the conversation. You know what I mean? So I
Right.
think that's the biggest thing. It was like at first I was like, ooh, this is uncomfortable. To like, I understand it a little bit more now.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, those early moments when you look back. I mean, when I look back at my first videos, because Facebook and all these other social media platforms, they're gonna remind you of where you started. Oh, this is
Mhm.
16 years ago on this date you dropped this video, and it's like
Yeah,
some like poorly pixelated video. You have really bad lighting. You thought it was really
terrible.
popping back then, but when you look back at it now, you're like, ooh, cringe. Like the cringe meter just
Mhm.
goes up. You're like, oh god. But
Fact.
it's growth. Like you said, growth is not linear. You go through those moments and you figure things out.
You do. You do. As time go on, man. No, it's a crazy journey, bro. It's a crazy journey. You feel me? But I do think it's one of those things that like if you feel creatively like you're stuck or you just like, oh, this ain't really working, I do think it's good to pivot for some time and put your energy in places that feel
Mm-hmm.
better for that moment and then come back when the energy is back. Because sometimes you could really just be like forcing something that's not there right now, but it might be there a year from now. You know what I'm saying? So it's a crazy game because creativity we don't own it. You feel me? We don't own success. We don't own none of this.
Mm.
All this stuff is being given to us. You know,
Wow.
God is just like putting it on us as He see fit. So it's just one of those things where it's like just be faithful to the process, but also don't
Mm.
idolize it at the same time. You know, don't be feeling like you got to put all like, oh my goodness, please, algorithm gods. Like, it
Mm.
ain't that deep. it
Like I said,
ain't that deep.
man, you're preaching to me. I'm just like, yeah. There's times where I've put my heart and soul into something. I edit
Mhm.
it, and I do my best. I'm not a whatever award winning editor, content creator, anything. But I put my best in. I'm like, okay, this is definitely better than last time
Yeah, yeah.
by a decent margin. It should react favorably in the algorithm, and I'm just hoping. I'm hoping if you're a content creator, you're watching this, and have you ever had those moments? Let us know in the comments. Please let
Mhm.
me indeed know. Like, if you have you had those moments where you're just like, I want the success, but hey, we just have to put the work in, move on to the next project. Sometimes it's even like you said, go to a different area. I know for me, I go back and forth between being very into the drumming and like the practice and just working on my fundamentals. And then when I get kind of bored with that, or I'm like more inspired to come back to my business, now I go back to that. And so I have, they kind of feed
Yeah.
each other, like the creativity areas, they
Hmm.
definitely feed each other, like you said.
Yeah, yeah. It's all. I think it's all about the balance overall. You feel me? Like sometimes it's just not that moment. It's just not that time. You know, if you read I think it's Ecclesiastes 12 or something like
Mm.
that. We're just talking about the time for everything. I think it's Ecclesiastes 12. No, it could be. It might be three. It's Ecclesiastes 3. Ecclesiastes 3. It's a time for every. Is it three or four?
You know, I'm going to look it up right now. I'm going
Look,
to give a little
because I think
assist.
it's three. I could be wrong, but I think it's three. It's a time for everything, man. Um,
Yep, you're right. Yeah, there's a
three.
time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a time for everything. So it's like, sometimes it's like you just got to be patient with yourself. Give yourself a lot more grace and just understand that you don't need to beat your head against the wall cuz if it ain't working today, it probably ain't going to work tomorrow, but that don't mean it ain't going to work a month or 2 months or 3 months from now if you just switch it up
Mm.
a little bit. You feel me? If you ain't come from a different angle and you might hit it from a different place. You feel me? It might
Yeah.
work. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, man, I definitely appreciate you joining the Gamma Wave. Again, the Gamma Wave show, we
Hey,
don't just talk about just the surface level. We talk about personal growth. We talk about faith. We talk
I love
about the things underneath the surface level through the lens of gaming, anime, movies, music, and arts.
it. Mhm.
So, man, if you're enjoying this conversation, definitely subscribe. Make sure you follow Dziller here as we wind down and come on that back half of the show because
Mhm.
now, you know, as we address the title menu for today, you know, looking into life's a permanent buff or a buff you're overlooking in life right now, we're gonna
Yeah.
have D give his buff. Like this is a buff. You know, if you made it to this part of the show, hey,
Yeah.
congratulations because you're gonna walk
Shout out to you.
out here. A shout out to you because you're walking out with not just like a bunch of nuggets of wisdom, but I feel like you found like the loot haul, like you found everything. Like this is, I'm excited to hear what you have to say for this one right here. If you can leave everyone listening with one permanent buff, it doesn't go away, and this could improve every area of their life, what would it be?
Every single area.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's easy. What? If I could leave everybody listening with one permanent buff, that permanent buff would be can, can it be a double buff? Can it work together?
Oh
Because
yeah.
it's not okay. Faith and works.
Mm.
You got faith in God and you work while you're doing it. I feel like you can't fail. You can't. You really can't. It might not look pretty. It might not be comfortable. You feel me? But sometimes you ain't got to be born with the silver spoon. You ain't got to be born with the all the abilities. You know what I'm saying? It's people who they blind when they born. You see Stevie Wonder. You feel me? There's a lot of people who got a lot of disadvantages, but that faith and that work gonna take you to places that sometimes eyeballs can't. You feel me? Sometimes legs can't. You feel me? So it's
Mm.
like that's one thing that I want everybody to just stay with. It's like always staying faithful and always working towards it. You're gonna be all
Yeah, I'm gonna let that one marinate for a bit.
right.
It's the faith and works. Like faith and works, that's number one. If you have faith and works, pretty much guaranteed. So
Guaranteed.
that is guaranteed. Man. So I really appreciate D Ziller coming on the Gamma Wave podcast for this
Hold on, wait.
episode.
Before we end it, I
Oh
wanted to
yeah.
ask you something because
Okay.
I'm like that's such a great question. One, all of these questions was phenomenal. Thank you, Caleb.
Thank you.
Great questions. That one, I gotta ask you,
Oh
what
man.
buff would you leave the people?
Ooh, put me on the
And
spot.
I'm gonna add on to it. I'm gonna add on
Okay.
to it.
Okay.
What buff would you leave with the people for them to have, and what
Mm.
debuff? You know what I'm saying? So something that takes away. What debuff do you feel like is something that can hold people back that they need to let go.
Mm. I'm gonna take the shortcut right here. Cause I'm gonna answer both questions with the same answer.
With the same
So I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I talk a lot about tuning in to your own frequency and making that frequency as pure and as strong as possible. I feel like if you like before I came on the show, I was singing to myself, see it, believe it, achieve it. But you have to have a frequency personally that aligns with the vision that you're working towards. Now, if your frequency is not at a high enough level, I don't think you can vibrate at a pace to achieve it. Kind of like you said earlier, like if your faith, like you're not really believing it, it's like you just going through the motions. My biggest buff is if you really, really channel that version of yourself or that version of the future that you're working towards. And it's like everything you do, every fiber of your soul is working towards it. That to me is you'll sound crazy to the people around you sometimes, but it's like if you have the mindset of an eagle, they don't worry about what pigeons have to say. It's like they see the mountaintop. I'm going there. I'm getting there, and even if to go alone, I'm getting there. So that's what I would leave everybody with because your
facts.
biggest debuff would be doubt. It would be not really accessing and I would say even like manifesting or like creating the highest frequency for yourself. If you're intentionally self sabotaging yourself, you have habits, you have tendencies that get in the way of your goal. Well, yeah, you're not going to get there. It's like I think of things like as nutrition. You put bad nutrition in, you're going to get bad performance out. You put good things in, you get good things out. So it's very reciprocal. And so if you understand that things in life are reciprocal and what the energy you give into something is what you get back, and it can be multiplied or added, boom, like that's your recipe for success or failure, depending on how you do it. So that's my
Facts.
answer. And I appreciate you asking. I wasn't prepared for it. I'm a little long winded. So, uh,
No, that was a great answer though. That was awesome. That was awesome.
yeah. So okay. So as we wrap up here, we have two more questions. One of the last questions, as we're talking about gaming, is respawn like a pro. Now, when I used to play Halo back in the day, you can like skip the countdown to when you play multiplayer. You can just press X, get back in. You don't have to wait the 10 seconds or 5 seconds. But sometimes in life, it doesn't help you to just respawn and get back to work right away because you may not be fresh. Like you said, one of your new words to describe the season of your life is like new and fresh. I'm making a callback.
Mm-hmm.
When you're responding like a pro, you want to come back in fresh. For you, D, how are you coming back fresh? Like what's one tip or what's one thing you got for everybody?
Ooh, coming back fresh. Hey, hey, I don't care what nobody say. God made his fourth commandment, honor the Sabbath day, keep it holy.
Mm,
It's one day every week. It's Friday night to Saturday night. I feel like that's my recharge, bro.
mm,
That's literally my recharge. I don't. It's so many people that I work 24 hours, I work 7 days. Forget all that. Take the Sabbath serious. Do it. I'm telling you, it will change your life, your whole
mm.
life. Every week, I feel like, oh, it's a new week. Like I feel refreshed. I feel like it's more possibilities. My wife asks, my favorite day of the week is Monday. You feel me? Forget Friday. I love Monday. I just
Yeah.
like getting it started. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's all because of that Sabbath, man. If I ain't had it, I feel like I'd just be burnt. I'll be so burnt because I know me. I know myself. Like I'm a worker. I like working until it ain't no more work left. You know.
Same. Same.
You know. But I would literally I would burn myself completely out if I didn't have the Sabbath
mm.
for sure.
Amen to that. And that's again more wisdom because I was there was a part of my life where that was me. I had like four jobs at one point and I didn't need them all. I was just like I need to work, I need to be successful. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
where I want to be in life, so it's like, well, if I'm not doing anything, I could be working towards it. But like you said, you're burning yourself out. And those periods of my life, those years, I experienced the highest levels of stress, the highest
Mhm.
levels of like getting in my own way, not having the best, like relationship with my wife, like, just like having that
Yeah.
friction. But it's like if you're rested, you're balancing
Hold
everything.
on,
Like
you
it's like
had 4 jobs and a wife?
yes,
Oh
yes.
my goodness, you the man. What? Well, I know you
Well,
said that was a bad time, but dang, what?
but you see, that's the reaction like sometimes you'll get from people, like because in our society, people
Yeah,
honor and they'll rank, oh, you're very busy. Like that's very that ranks very highly in our society.
yeah,
However, like other cultures, they don't really look at like the more you work, the more like honor or whatever, however you want to categorize it. They look at it
yeah,
as like, oh, like you don't balance out like family quality time, or you don't balance out like your faith and spend time like with
yeah,
yourself. So
yeah.
it's very weird here compared to other cultures, like when you look at
That's true.
America's society versus others. So I had
That's
to
true.
unlearn some things to have more balance, because sometimes you can work less and get further ahead because you're working more efficiently. That's something I'm
Mhm.
learning right now. Again, I'm unlearning overworking, and I'm relearning, or I'm trying to learn being efficient, being intentional with my time. That's a great point to uh, put a nice bow on the Sabbath. I appreciate
Mhm.
you sharing that with our audience, because yeah, the rest is important. God said, one day that's supposed to be meant for rest.
You yes, 100%. Hey, I'm glad you connected with that, bro. That's one thing about content creation. You understand, bro. It's like maybe because it's so fun, maybe because it's bad advice. I don't know. It might be a mixture of two. It might be a mixture of both. But like,
Yeah.
man, we will make unlimited amounts of videos. Just go hard. Just put them out, put them out, put them out. You feel me? And we just like, well, that's another chance. That's another chance. That's another
Mm-hmm.
chance. And we don't take that step back and realize, like, oh, that rest is just as good enough as the productivity. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like when I was telling you
Yes.
about, I haven't made no skit since fall. It's summertime. I put out, this is my third skit I ever put out. You feel me? And then
Mm.
it do something like that. It's like, thank God for that rest. Thank God for that
Yeah.
time of me not like banging my head against the wall, just feeling like, oh, I gotta put something out.
Yeah.
Nah,
Yeah. And you received that idea. You received something in the rest period, and that's
yeah,
where, if you think in this, I'm receiving this right now. So I'm gonna just say it. When
yeah,
you're in prayer, part of it's like you're talking, but the other part is like you're listening and you're receiving things, but you can't listen if you're distracted. There's no
thanks.
such thing as talking and listening at the same time. In fact, from a biological standpoint, your ears will listen less as you're talking and moving your mouth. So, in order to receive these ideas, we got to be silent. In order to hear, a word from God, we got to be silent and listen. So, yeah.
You hit it right on the head, bro.
So our last question. Again, I'm super excited. I'm not sure if y'all can tell, but yeah, I'm really excited to have my brother here, D, on the Gamma
Hey,
Wave podcast.
I'm
And
so glad to be here, bro.
I know this is a first podcast for you, and I know there's many, many more things in your future. I can already see it. I'm just gonna call it, and I'm just gonna
Thank you.
say I'm glad I was able to be one of the first to.
You the first, bro. You the first. You the
I,
first. I didn't. Hey, I didn't. I was telling my wife yesterday. I was like, man, babe, this is my first like Dziller interview
yeah.
podcast. Day. You the first, bro. And I appreciate you, bro. Because this is. I would want. I ain't gonna lie. I would want every podcast I ever do or interview or whatever I ever do. I would love it to be similarly situated
Mm,
because we talking about games, but I feel like games is just, it's probably just the hook to get people in, but really
yeah.
we talking about life. You feel me? We talking
Yeah.
about some stuff that's just like all we everybody need this. So I appreciate you, bro. You really broke this down beautifully, bro.
Yeah, man, and everybody needs your message. And speaking
Praise
of
God.
this message, your last, question, kind of like, leaving that lasting impression with everyone. Like, what is one thing that you hope people remember about the legacy of your content when it's all said and done?
I hope people be like, man, hey, I like the way, he was able to break down whatever the games or he was funny or whatever the case. I like the music. He was one of those dudes that was just an all-around entertainer, you feel me? But above all that,
Mm.
he never folded. When it came down to God, when it came down to what was real, he never folded. That's all I care about. I don't gotta be the funniest. I ain't gotta be the biggest. I don't gotta have the most bread. You feel me? I don't want to ever compromise that part of myself because some people
Mm,
get over here and they do it and they get caught up in it. And I get it. I understand. Like, you know, all you see the comments, you see the people, you feel me? You see the whatever, the money, the women, all that stuff is cool. It's cool. But if you're gonna compromise who you is, what is you doing it for? What does it mean at the end of the day?
yeah.
And that's what I want to be remembered for at the end of the day. That boy ain't fold.
Wow. Wow. He basically, what does it do a man to, conquer the world but lose his soul, lose your value, lose your ethics, lose what's most important to you? Yeah, that's what it's about. The legacy that Dziller, first ever episode of a podcast here, that's the legacy. So when you guys see Dziller, 3-5 years from now, and you see him on the TV shows, you see him on all the awards shows and different things, his lasting message and legacy is he's not going to fold on his values.
Never,
So
never. Can't fold. Can't
never
fold.
fold, never fold.
Yes, sir.
So before we leave, I want you to be able to just drop any social medias, any like platforms. I know you mentioned the musician or your
Yeah, yeah,
music.
yeah.
Mention that
So,
too. I'll make sure to put in the show notes. So
for
this is your
sure.
time to just definitely share all your
Stay
socials with
everything.
everybody.
For sure. If you want to see some funny stuff, some gaming stuff, you can follow me on IG, TikTok, YouTube, Dziller, Dziller. If you want to look at gaming essays, you can check me out on YouTube. I might end up switching it up over there, but that's what I'm doing right now. But yeah, and if you like music, if you like some just all around good music, something to party to, something to go to church to, something to kick it at home with, something to listen to your girl with, I got all that. You feel me? Go to Riggio, Ridgio. Yeah, that's where you can find me. That's where you can find me.
All right. So we wrapped up episode number 10. This is
Oh,
big because one of my dietitian buddies, Desi, he told me most podcasts don't make it to number 10. And
wow.
I'm really happy to say this is episode number 10. Episode 9, that's going to be available here shortly too. And we're approaching our 1 year anniversary. So, man, what a way to bring in our first year of this podcast. Again, something from a little seedling of an idea to something that is going to grow and flourish with, amazing guests and human beings like D. So,
Bro, you doing it the right way, bro. This podcast, I don't know if anybody ever told you, but I feel like this podcast, because it packs so much so much meaning. And I feel like if you continue just try to get better. Keep putting people on. Keep just like interacting with folks, bro. Like this is most definitely gonna grow into something that you probably can't even imagine right now, bro. Like
mm,
just don't stop. Keep going, bro. This is a one of in a million. You know, you got a lot of
mm,
people just talking and they just want to talk about pop culture. They just want to talk about the latest and greatest. But man, you diving into the health, the spiritual, the mental. Hey, there's some stuff that people need, bro.
I
Keep
appreciate
going.
that. I really appreciate that. That's fuel for the fire. So, all
Mhm.
my Gamma gang out there that's listening, comment. Make sure you let us know what your favorite moments of the episode happen to be, things that you reflected on, and yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get this outro music going on. I don't forgot how to end the show. I don't forgot how to end the show over here. Let me go ahead and get this music going. All right. So this has been Caleb Wilson and our special guest, Dzilla, on the 10th episode of G.A.M.M.A Wave. We'll catch you guys next time. Take care.